Today is about quit the struggle and starting to thrive. I am your guide, Rachel L. Gary, and this is the CEO Masterclass. And in the Masterclass, I am talking to CEOs, the ones that are clear in their actions, empowered by their choices, and are owning their directions as the CEO of my life. I am a coach. I tailor my coaching around providing inspiring leaders tools that are necessary for them to lead organizations, companies, and most of all, their lives. So we're going to dive right in and get started. And what we're going to start on today is about being comfortable over growth. So today, guys, I want you guys to give your 2 weeks notice. Give your 2 weeks notice to mediocrity, to complacency, to not getting what you deserve, not being where you want to be, and not going where you want to go. So today, give notice, not a 2 week notice, a 20-minute notice that it is now over. We're going to tell mediocrity to go. Complacency to go. All of the roadblocks that have been in our way, that have stopped you from going from where you are to where I know you want to be. I've been there, guys. How I know that I can help you evict, get rid of, and execute giving notice to mediocrity, giving notice to complacency, because I was once there. I was once that person who was comfortable making the amount of money I was making. I was scared to leave a job because it was secure. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to feed my kids if I made that leap. Until one day I read a book called Leap of Faith. And I read that book and I realized that no one was in my way. I was in my way. And so are you. And we're going to dive into the things that are in your way. We want things. We are looking for things to happen. We are looking for mythical things to happen. I believe that there's a God. And I want you guys to believe there's a God. But I want to say it. Is God here in us to listen to us ask for something that we are not willing to give ourselves? We want more money. We want a brand new car. We want a brand new house. We want many things out of life, but are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to make the sacrifice? Are you willing to invest in you? Now, I'm going to be controversial with my statement. I don't believe God should do anything for me if I'm not willing to step up. God gave me breath, wisdom, the ability to learn, the ability to grow, and I'm wasting it and still asking God for more. So I feel blessed by God. I feel blessed by all of the things that are in my life. I feel that I am blessed because I am a blessing. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to put in some work. We want something. We need to make a plan and start executing a plan. Not just praying for something to happen, but acting as if we want it to happen. Now, I do believe in prayer. So this is not where I'm anti-praying. I am for praying. I am for asking for assistance in my mind to prepare me for what's next. I also always pray for the fact that I am able to do more, be more, have more. By the grace of God, I am able to do that. So that's why I'm saying that we have to put in some work. So let's talk about how to thrive if you have ownership and you are in action towards that ownership. So we're going to use our God-given talents and start moving forward. Because my promise to you guys today was that I'm going to show you how to give your 2 weeks notice, but 20-minute notice in your life. We're getting rid of mediocrity, complacency, and excuses. How do you do it? Get a roadmap, get a plan, and start being in action. Now, if you guys have been under a rock for the last year, and this is your first video that you've seen of mine, I have a 7-day challenge that is free. The 7-day challenge 2.0 is where there are 3 commitments that you have to be consistent on And we celebrated for 7 days together, asking questions, getting answers, getting appreciation, because I appreciate that you showed up. You're going to appreciate that you showed up, because on the other side of that 7-day challenge is integrity building. It's the action steps. It's you moving forward and putting in the work and owning your direction. So we're going to stop blaming people, blaming situations, and take ownership. Hard. It's hard for you to say that you are the reason you failed. It's hard to say that, hey, I didn't do a good job. It's like when you have a fight. Have you noticed that you're fighting to prove that you're right, that your point of view is right, that what you said is right, what you're doing is right, and what the other person is doing, saying, and delivering your way is wrong. So what are you arguing about? So I want us to start having that internal argument. And internal argument I mean is this: mediocrity, you gotta go. I'm gonna now show up for me every day. Complacency, you gotta go. I'm gonna put in the work that's needed to grow. Excuses of who, what, when, and where, all of you guys gotta go. I'm owning the who. I'm doing the what. I'm showing the how, so I can be the person that I need to be and show up for me. So the 7-day challenge that I offer, that's free. One more time, I want to say it's free. It's free to get information. It's free to get someone to help you celebrate. It's free to have someone who's cheering for you, because I am cheering for you. I didn't tell you the why me. How did I come up with the fact that I can offer you guys the information that will help you be successful? I was telling a story in the 7-day challenge earlier about when I was making $7 an hour. I was making $7 an hour. My kids were sleeping on an air mattress. I was sleeping on a couch at my sister-in-law's house. I was homeless, hopeless, and complacent because she was letting me stay there, and it was rent-free. Can you see how my train of thought was? It was rent-free. So it was okay for me to sleep on the couch. It was okay for my kids to be on the air mattress. They weren't on the floor. So I told myself those things, like, kids not on the floor, they're on the air mattress. My sister-in-law, she doesn't mind that I'm here. And the $7 an hour, hey, I'm making enough to make sure they got food, they got clothes, because I didn't have rent. I didn't have bills. So that was being complacent. It was okay. Tell me how many times have you been in a situation where it's been okay for you to play small? It was okay for you not to step up. It was okay that your boss did it, your friends did it, your sisters did it, your brothers did it, your cousins did it. Everybody did it but you. I'm living in a real life situation right now where I'm being blamed for some things that are outside my control. Now, I'm going to make a statement. I am a person who takes full ownership for what Rachel L. Gary does. And I want you to take full ownership for you. Take full ownership for yourself. And remember that you can't control anybody outside of you. You're owning your actions. And to own your actions, you must be acting in the best possible way for your success, your life success. So that's why we're giving that notice. And at the end of here, you should be able to utilize that notice and understand what to do next. So we're going to talk about the steps that will help you start thriving. So I have a thing that I utilize, and I utilize this in my everyday life to allow me to set myself up for success, because it's easily said than done. But with support and a roadmap, I'm able every time to bring myself back to positive energy, a positive state of mind, to allow me to handle life's challenges. So what do I do to handle life's challenges? So the first thing I have is I deal with self-care. And my self-care, guys, is not the typical self-care. It's the self-care of your mind, your space, and your time. So when I'm talking about self-care, I'm talking about setting clear boundaries of your mind, your space, and your time. Because you are a steward of your time. You determine How much of it you're going to sell to an employer? How much of it you're going to give to your kids? How much you're going to give to your family? How much you're going to give to your friends? How much you're going to give to groceries, chores, and all of that. It's not really about time management. It's about executing your time as effectively as possible. So let's talk about the steps in which to use for self-care, because that's where you have to start. We have to start building up the resilience and start building up the boundaries so you're able to be successful. Get rid of distractions so you're able to do more, be more, have more. So let's talk about those steps. First, determine what time of day or how much time you want to spend focused on your goals. Laser focused like a lion. You're not going to let the prey of the goal get away. This is about being a leader of your life. You can't lead anyone else until you can be led. How can you lead someone else if you cannot be led? I'm going to say it again. How can you lead if you cannot be led? Why do I say it? You can't lead your kids. You can't lead your family. You can't lead a company. You can't lead a job. You are barely leading your life because you are not being led. And I don't mean just led by a coach. I mean led by some clear principles and a clear map on which you are going to stand strong on. Those steps. First, you're going to write down, or if you're not a person that writes down, if you're a person who takes notes on your phone, note on your phone that for 30 minutes a day, you're going to focus on what it is that you want to do. I didn't say a goal, guys. What is it that you want to do? Because we have to start with what is it that you want. Take the time. This is not material, only material what you want. A better relationship, peace of mind, more money even, a better house, a better car, a better friendship, more partnerships, better circumstances. Whatever that is you want. Give yourself 30 minutes to figure out what you want. So when you say you're going to take 30 minutes, this is where you start building up those boundaries. So the boundary of your mind was that you're going to give yourself 30 minutes. So out of a full 24-hour day, you are giving yourself 30 minutes. I didn't say you're carving out 30 minutes of time. I said you're giving yourself 30 minutes, which means out of that 24-hour day, you have dedicated 30 minutes to you. Carve out the 30 minutes. It doesn't matter if you're going to do an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. I'm just using it as an increment of time. Then you want to have the conversation with the loved ones in your life, the people who you interact with on an everyday basis. Someone who could stop that 30 minutes, or someone who, through actions that might be unforeseen, can hinder you from getting that 30 minutes done. Have the conversation with them. Hey, I'm going to be, for 30 minutes a day, taking an opportunity to grow me, which is going to help me, if it's your kids, grow you. Make it a win-win, guys. This is not a put my foot down, I'm getting 30 minutes so I can be able to be creative, so I can do what I want to do. Win-win. This is about being a leader. Leaders don't demand. Leaders partner. Leaders grow together. So when you're having a conversation, win-win. Hey guys, I need 30 minutes so I can be able to take an opportunity to grow myself so I can help us be in better financial standing, or better for company standing, or better, hit a better bottom line. Whatever that is, I need time to think. And what is their win? Whatever the win is for them. Hey guys, when it's over, we're going to sit down and then we're going to watch a movie. We're going to go to ice cream. We're going to celebrate. We're going to have a company picnic. We're going to do whatever that is. Make it a win-win. And it doesn't have to be a prize. It could just be that, okay, after I'm done with this, now let's do something that you wanted to do. Win-win. So you got your thought. You got you some space. Now what you do with your time. You spend that 30 minutes with your phone away. So no social media, even though we're on social media right now. So no social media, just you, your pad, or your phone, taking a note about what you want to do. If you want to do that for 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a week, 30 minutes a month, give yourself the opportunity to get that information. So what did we talk about? You're going to first give your mind a boundary. That's the 30 minutes. Then you're going to give the people outside of you a boundary of giving you space during that time. So do not disturb on your phone as well as your life. And then you're going to take that opportunity, utilizing that time for 30 minutes to grow. Those are steps of how you start getting rid of that mediocrity, that complacency, the excuses. Give yourself a way to success. You're the only person who can do it. Your job isn't stopping you. Your kids are not stopping you. Your husband's not stopping you. Your wife's not stopping you. Your family's not stopping you. You control one person. You. Start with self, and everything else will grow. So, any questions, please drop them in the chat. So, the one question is, if there's steps to being successful, how did you use it? Great question. So, as I said in the beginning, was that I went from making $7 an hour to making multiple six figures. My current net worth is multiple million. And what I did to be successful was the same steps that I'm explaining to you guys. I took an opportunity, had a conversation with my kids at the time, and my kids are grown now, and I still have the same similar conversation with them, where I explained that, hey, I need an opportunity to write down my goals so we can have more and we can get out of the situation we're in. I know you're having fun with your cousins, but we need to have it where you have your own room and you're able to play your own PlayStation. So for you to be able to play your own PlayStation, I need an opportunity to think. I went on the front porch in January, 30 minutes, because I was in a house full of at least 10 people. So I went on the front porch in my coat, my boots and gloves, and I legitimately spent 30 minutes writing out a plan. That plan, the first thing on the plan was what I did know, what I didn't know. And I had to work on the things I didn't know. Because the things I didn't know was what was stopping me. So I went through those steps, figured out what I didn't know, formulated a plan to begin to learn those things so I could have more things in the column of need to know so I could start moving forward. From that $7 an hour, 6 months later, I was promoted once. 3 months after that, I was promoted again. 4 months after that, I was promoted again. And 8 months after, a little under 7 months, a little under 8 months, I was asked to be promoted again, where I had to take directors and have a conversation about combining a position so I could be able to do the job that they needed, get the results that they needed, and so the company could be successful, which in turn was allowing me to be successful. So I hope that answers the questions on the steps in which I take, which are the same steps that I will tell you to take. Everything that I talk about is how I actually did it. How I went from the $7 an hour to the multiple six figures. How I buy real estate property in the Chicagoland area. How I do it. 3 years ago, I made the decision that I was going to start buying property. Now, I already owned a house and a condo at that point in time. However, I wanted to start buying multi-unit buildings. What I did was, I started with researching real estate. I went to meetups. My apologies, let's step back. I sat down and wrote down that I wanted to buy property and how much money I would need to make to do so. Started building up my credit. Got rid of some credit cards. Got rid of one I shouldn't have. I'll tell y'all that as well. So you're going to stumble, but you stumble and you learn. I got rid of a credit card that I had had since I was 18. And that goes to me not having a clear understanding on how credit worked. I just paid my bills on time. So I didn't understand that my credit score of 780 something at the time, that it was because of the length of time on the credit card. I got rid of the credit card and my credit score immediately dropped in the 60s. So you live and you learn. So I hope that this information helps you today to be successful in your aspiration to be a leader. Not a leader of just an organization, not just a leader or supervisor, but the leader of your organization, of your life. So I want you guys to like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube, And make sure when you hit that notification bell, you are ready and you watch that video, because I'm always going to drop gems straight, no chase. And until next week, I want you guys to be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You CEOs. The masterclass is now closed.